Gregg Popovich or Eddie Howe. Either way, what an incredible achievement for these two clubs in particular. Well, for Manchester United it is familiar territory, but with the brand new manager who at the start of the season probably knew almost next to nothing about the English game of football, Gregg Popovich's achievement has been almost the most unbelievable story in the league. For Bournemouth's side of things, it'll be Eddie Howe's first attempt at silverware with Bournemouth. He's been on an incredible ride with them, and every credit goes to them for getting this far, even during this season, which has been rather wretched in terms of the league, with Bournemouth at the bottom of the table. But survival could be just on the cards. They are really riding high now, only 5 points from it. The winners of this match will take on Watford, who beat Derby County by an emphatic 5-1 in Watford's tremendous season. Begovic is in goal. It is pretty much the same lineup that started the first leg. Of course, Bournemouth have had a few more days probably rest than Manchester United have, so that probably counts for something. Manchester United has Joel Pierre in goal following his clean sheet last time out against Burnley. And it's a 4-man defence again with Bertrand, Tuanzebe, Lindelof and Antonio Valencia. Scott McTominay is with Mata and Aaron Henwood. And up front, Dimitri Mitchell and Gazzy Zardes are either side of main man Romelu Lukaku. So welcome to the Vitality Stadium. It is jam-packed and the tie is nicely poised. A goal apiece, no away goals rule. Most goals wins over 2 legs. It is a strange format. It's one we've had for quite a while now. There's Jermaine Defoe, the scorer for Bournemouth in the last fixture, with Mkhitaryan being the other one. And Manchester United were going on to win that game, and it was a rather comfortable performance, as it has been a lot for Manchester United this season. The only problem is they scored in the 88th minute, Bournemouth, and grabbed a very well-earned equaliser. There's Callum Wilson already into the box. Jermaine Defoe all the way to Wilson, and the pass is misplaced. And the attack is kind of broken down, and that's very unfortunate. Bournemouth looking to hit Manchester United early here. Cook to Wilson. Bournemouth keeping the ball moving early in this first half. We approach 20 minutes in. Fraser. Jermaine Defoe. Will take it into the box. Headed in by somebody, but the referee's giving a penalty. Handball is the call. And Bournemouth have a very early chance here to take the lead in the tie and in the game. So we look at this handball decision. It's against Tuanzebe. And it looks rather awkward. And it's the Bournemouth player that forces Tuanzebe to use his hand. And well, that's awkward. It's really awkward looking. But I think it is the correct decision now. If I remember rightly, I do believe Joel Pierre has saved a penalty in this competition already. It was against Arsenal, wasn't it? It was Lacazette with a poor penalty, and Joel Pierre was able to save it. So it'll be interesting if he can pull off a save here. We're gonna have another look at it here. I think it's actually for an arm across the face more than handball, actually. Well, here's Jermaine Defoe. Oh, he's chipped it. It's another poor penalty, and Joel Pierre has saved again. Joel Pierre is unbeatable, but what was Jermaine Defoe doing? He is much better than that. Joel Pierre was able to read that a mile off. Here comes Manchester United on the down the other end with Mata. And poor penalty by Jermaine Defoe. He's much better than that. His intensive chipping was so clear that Joel Pierre was able to read it, almost as if he hit the ball. Wonderfully done by Pierre, though. He had to save it. He got there wonderfully. Joel Pierre is looking unbeatable at the moment. Mata with the resulting corner from his strike just a few seconds ago. Manchester United once again had to thank Joel Piera for not conceding a goal. And Gregg Popovich has got a decision to make, because David De Gea is of course one of the world's best keepers, but he's barely kept a clean sheet this season. It seems to be Sergio Romero and Joel Piera that are getting the clean sheets for Manchester United. So does Greg start playing Piera more often? Here's Juan Mata. Really a temperament manager. He might be having a few choice words in Jermaine Defoe's ear at the half-time break, and Lukaku has scored. And Bournemouth pay for their mistake, and Manchester United do what they do best and put the ball in the back of the net. They have been stunning at that this season. The attacking prowess that has been this team has been absolutely tremendous. Bournemouth just falling asleep on Lukaku. You really can't do that. And you have to say the opposing teams really have made it easy for Manchester United in the latter part of the season. Gregg Popovich has been relatively unbeaten in all but the Champions League since probably November. That's Lukaku's first goal of the competition, and it could be the one that settles it too, with Manchester United going to the final against Watford, the top two teams in the Premier League, going head to head for silverware this season. Maybe Gregg's first ever silverware as Manchester United manager and as a football manager. Well, head coach rather, but it is kind of the same thing. Lukaku trying to poke it in there. First leg. And there's been misplaced tackles. A good goal. Good goal for Bournemouth. Immediate reply. Ryan Fraser. And Manchester United probably just called as cold as Bournemouth were on defence earlier. Instant reply from Eddie Howe's side. They're definitely fighting for this. And two sliding tackles that have just been mistimed to get the ball. And just a great shot past Piera, to be fair, from Ryan Fraser. That is a great shot. Joel Piera seeing stars in that one. And he's not getting that, and he knows it. Well, there goes Joel Piera's run of clean sheets. It's unfortunate. And it's just another defensive kind of howler from Gregg Popovich's team. It really is a strange thing how he just cannot keep clean sheets. But as we know with Manchester United, they always score. And we're back where we started. Level at 1-1. Which means it's now 2-2 on the aggregate score. And that is the end of the first half. It's been action-packed, really. Bournemouth probably should have been ahead. Jermaine Defoe, a poorly taken penalty, to be honest, which led to Manchester United responding with a goal from Romelu Lukaku, but almost immediately after, Ryan Fraser, of all people, gave Bournemouth a lifeline. They are still in this tie, but Manchester United always score. Bournemouth 1, United 1 at the break, 2-2 on the aggregate scoreline. No away goals, remember. Next is back another cup game for Manchester United. They'll take on Burnley in the next round of the Emirates FA Cup as Mata puts it in and scores a second goal for United, and that could just seal it. And again, it's another awesome cross from the wing players here. Mkhitaryan, instant impact coming off the bench. And it's almost a carbon copy of a lot of goals that United have scored so far this season. It's Juan Mata who's put United back in front. They always score. And it is almost just an inevitability about it. And they could be going to the Carabao Cup final. They are the holders, remember. They did win it last season under Jose Mourinho. And it looks like under Gregg Popovich they may have another chance of getting it again. There are no away goals, remember, so we will be tied if Bournemouth score a second themselves. And we all know that they're not ones to lie down. Mkhitaryan with another cross back into Mata again. And in comes Zardes. Oh, he's missed a sitter. Aziz Zardes, the man who's been scoring for fun in this competition. He really should have just stroked it in. And he's missed it. And maybe that could cost Manchester United in the latter stages of this game. Aziz Zardes has been scoring for fun in this competition. He scored in the first 2 games of it against Leeds, and later against, I think it might have been Huddersfield or Brighton, I'm not sure, but 2 all season, I think. The only time I did was against Benfica. And Zardes, and it's Lukaku, my apologies, but it is all over. And Manchester United are through to the final of the Carabao Cup. The holders have turned the screw again. And look at this prowess from Manchester United. The attacking intent is such a far cry from the last couple of seasons or so. And Manchester United were looked at a defensive parking the bus team. There is no such mentality with Gregg Popovich. He is cutthroat. He is in your face, and even though he will concede goals, which have been rather stunning goals by most accounts this season, the only real poor performance was against Benfica in the second round. I think it was the first round of group games in the Champions League. But once again tonight, Manchester United just turning the screw when they need to, and they look to be going through to the final to face Watford, the top 2 teams in the Premier League this season. Was a good strike by Morrison, to be fair.
The referee has indicated there will be a minimum
4 minutes of added on time.
added time.
And Gregg Popovich looks to be going to his first final as a football coach. An unbelievable season. I think we're running out of praise for Gregg Popovich, to be honest. His rotations have been brilliant. His squad management has been superb. The morale is certainly back at Old Trafford. Mkhitaryan in towards Zardes. The keeper's come out. Juan Mata. He's put it in, you know. Juan Mata makes it 1-4 to United. And that's an extravagant celebration if ever I saw one. 5-2 on aggregate now to Manchester United. And just putting the icing on the cake. Another wicked cross from Mkhitaryan. It was in towards Zardes. The Bournemouth man heads it away. Zardes has to get out of the shot, away of the shot from Mata. It's kind of clean, you know. And then it bobbles all over the place. And Zardes, well, does he get in the way of Bekovic, perhaps? Does he interfere with play? I don't think it really matters because Manchester United are so far away and home in front anyway. So, second goal of the night for Mata. And 2 for Lukaku, 2 for Mata. Game, set and match for Manchester United and Gregg Popovich, who will be going to the Carabao Cup final, most likely to face Watford. There's the full-time whistle. And a tie that was delicately poised was absolutely finished by the second half. Mata and Lukaku with 2 apiece to make it 4-1 in the end. And Bournemouth's fight just ran out of steam, unfortunately. It will happen. And Manchester United now can focus on the FA Cup and maybe winning the Carabao Cup. They are the holders, so they have their prize at stake. And they will be taking on one of the best Premier League teams in Watford. And it's certainly going to be a tasty fixture, I can assure you of that. Bournemouth's fight after the goal just really ran out of steam. It was all Manchester United in the second half. And they won eventually by 4-1. After negotiating his way to the Carabao Cup final, Gregg Popovich has another cup match. This time it's in the FA Cup for the next round against Burnley, after beating Brentford rather comfortably to a degree, which a lot of people expected them to do. Burnley's a tougher side. They've already faced them 3 times in the last, say, month or so. I think this is the 4th encounter in the space of a month that Manchester United have faced Burnley, and they're becoming quite familiar opponents, that's for sure. It's back to full strength today. David De Gea, that means he's in goal with Rojo, Jones and Bailly today. In goal with Matic, Herrera, Zaha and Paul Pogba. And Martial is with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, with the resting of Romelu Lukaku from the Carabao Cup semi-final. Antonio Valencia picked up an injury during that match and will be out for 2 to 3 weeks. For Burnley, Tom Heaton, of course, starting goal with Phil Bardsley and Twanzorzi with Hines and Taylor. And Gunnarsson is with Hendrik Cork, and Brady Defour plays behind Ashley Barnes. And Anthony Martial takes out Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The ball's gone out for a corner. Manchester United last won this prestigious English tournament with the last days of Louis van Gaal as manager a couple of seasons ago. He was then replaced by Jose Mourinho, who only lasted the one season. And that has brought us to where we are now. And Marcus Rojo has scored for Manchester United, his first goal of the season. And it was in off the corner from Pogba. And just 5 minutes have passed and Manchester United already ahead. Marcus Rojo, unmarked, fantastic header right out of the top drawer. It's Alan Smith-esque, and Tom Heaton, who normally has a really decent game against his former club, never stopping that in a million years. Manchester United, they always score. And now Marcus Rojo is in on the act for the first time this season. I don't think there's any team that has been playing like Manchester United this season. Speaking of Manchester, it's a bit of a worrying moment for Mers YT13, unfortunately, to report. Manchester City and Gabriel Jesus have taken the lead early on there as well. So both Manchester clubs getting off to an early start with an early goal. And Mers YT13's Aston Villa side are sadly behind. Another goal coming in, Reading, and they've scored against Cardiff. It's 1-1 there because Cardiff got an early goal. Martial, another goal and another cross. Manchester United just crossing the ball with precision and pace. And of course, Anthony Martial gets another goal. Almost an inevitability about it. Jesse Lingard here with the cross. And no team just seems to deal with Manchester United and crossing the ball. Phenomenal crosses from Manchester United this season. And they've scored from the very high percentage of them. Anthony Martial, of course, with another goal. And that's his first goal with the competition. Of course, he has a few in the Premier League already. Marcus Rashford running away with it in the Premier League to a degree, but he doesn't even start today. And Manchester United looking in command. Anthony Martial makes it 2-0. And Burnley are struggling here. Zlatan. And he's going to play in Pogba. Pogba's brought down. It's a penalty. Will that be a booking as well? The referee has come over. He's not going to book the man, but it is going to be a penalty. It looks a clear-cut decision to me. Pogba was clean through on goal here. Doesn't get the ball, gets Pogba. Definitely the right decision. And Burnley just make it even harder for themselves. Anthony Martial is going to score again. Raheem Mahrez has scored for Leicester. And Martial has scored for United. And it is a stroll this afternoon once again for Manchester United. And they're just making it look so easy. And in 18 minutes, Manchester United have already scored 3 goals. And it's just looking ever more great for Gregg Popovich's CV building, as it were, for future employment elsewhere. But I don't think he'll be going anywhere if Manchester United have a say in this, because I mean, it is phenomenal how the transformation under Coach Popovich has just transformed the game that Manchester United used to play. They're much like the old days, the attack mentality that Sir Alex Ferguson built on the foundation for so many years. And Alex Ferguson has definitely been a kind of consultant to Gregg Popovich. He's another one who's kind of taught him the ways of Manchester United, and Greg has took everything on board. And he has succeeded with this side in more ways than even fans and Ball could imagine. Zaha, Wilfried Zaha cutting inside. Tom Heaton saves it. And Burnley just making it so easy for Manchester United to do pretty much whatever they want at the moment. He's had a phenomenal breakout season, Phil Jones. 3-0 to Manchester United at the end of the first half. And Burnley have hardly threatened It's been another convincing Manchester United coach Popovich performance in which they have steamrolled over their opponents, and it could be awful superfluous if Manchester United keep playing at the level they have. Burnley probably sadly have little chance of salvaging it, but we do have a second half to play. But Manchester United, like a lot of times this season, just looking in total command. 3-0 at the break. It's been rather unfortunate, but they've just come up against the juggernaut that is this Manchester United side under Coach Pop. And everyone was thinking that Pep Guardiola was going to be the new force in the Premier League. And we were going to have many more battles between him and Jose Mourinho, but I think we have a new name to fear, and his name is Gregg Popovich. And he is here to win and to dominate the English game of football unbelievably. An American coach in the NBA comes to England and strolls through his first season, being a part of everything Manchester United could have been a part of. Dominating 3-0 win for Manchester United means they progress to the next round of the FA Cup. The fans do not really believe what they're seeing, but I think all the talk was about Pep Guardiola, but no, I don't think it's about him anymore. Gregg Popovich has completely taken over everything that everyone had guessed and has defied all expectations. And another dominating win for Manchester United by 3-0. Burnley never really had a chance. The FA Cup winners from 2016 progressed through. And that could be 50, my apologies, I think. All the goals from all the other games today, and Aston Villa had actually scored a goal at some point in the second half and have earned a replay at the Etihad Stadium against Manchester City. Bournemouth have really recovered from their loss at Manchester United in the Carabao Cup semi-finals by thumping Notts County by 4-0. Bristol City losing to Sunderland by 2-1 in the end. Chelsea progressing easily against Barnsley by 3-0. Fleetwood Town beating Wolves by 2-1. Fulham lose to Brighton by 3-1. Fulham's ray of hope was dashed really soon after that first goal that they scored. Leicester and West Brom will go to a replay at the Hawthorns with a 2-2 draw. Milton Keynes Dons and Plymouth Argyle will also go to a replay thanks to the 1-1 draw there, so Plymouth Argyle are able to bring it back. Reading beat Cardiff City by 2-1. Stoke City and Everton 2-2 draw, meaning there's a replay at Goodison Park. There's also going to be a replay at the Emirates as Watford and Arsenal drew 0-0.